Okay, everyone, so excited to give you a sneak peek behind the man, the GOAT, the incredible visionary of Collect Direct. Dave, I know you're like a kid in a candy store when I talk to you off camera, on the phone, in person about this company and what you're doing and the vision you've had really for most of your adult life, let's be honest. But we thought we would do this and try to give you a quick snapshot for all of you. A couple of things, like when did you start collecting toys and memorabilia, Dave? When did that start?
Back when I was a little kid, I have 9 older brothers and sisters, but there was always something older around the house. There was always something that when I was little, I was number 10 out of 14 of us. But my dad was a collector, and he had all kinds of things, built models, and I was always doing stuff with him. I was always sitting at the table when my dad would build a model, or I was always right then and there. And then my brother took me to the Cubs and the Blackhawks, and I just got lost in the game back in 1975. I think I was 7 years old and 8 years old, and ever since then I'm walking around the house with a paper bag, throwing Cubs stuff in it and Blackhawk stuff in it. And the next thing you know, hockey cards. My brother worked at the gas station, and my dad worked at the checker, part-time as a cop, and then or part-time as a gas station attendant. They'd bring home hockey cards, and next thing you know, Tony Esposito's in there, and I got into it, and I just got lost in the memories back in 1975. That was when I first started collecting.
So funny question. Then, if you think you started when you were 7 years old, when did you make your first dollar on anything in collectibles? What would you say? When?
That's back when my mom let me quit school back in 1983, and I was 16, and I never forget walking out of school, and my gym teacher kind of called me a loser, and I was already doing collecting and popping at a card show here and there. I wasn't old enough to pay taxes or do whatever, but at a trade show you're allowed to collect and trade. So I'd walk up to the tables and I'd sell stuff to guys and I'd buy stuff with guys. And as a little kid, I think in 1983, I think I was 16, and my mom let me quit school. So I'm going to these card shows. I'm walking out of there with $300 cash, and leaving with 3 Jose Canseco. Not Jose Canseco, he wasn't out until 86, but Ryan Sandberg rookies, and the different players that I like, Mike Schmidt, George Brett, and walk out of there making $300, and it was just a magic trick.
So I think about your brain when it comes to this stuff. I've been on a drive with you, and your song words and lyrics, you remember so much. But this industry is all about a lot of memory, right? Knowing the dates and the players. How did you get started in your first card shop when you actually said, okay, I'm going to open up a store of some kind? When was that?
Well, that was me and my buddy Dana back 1988. We actually a guy that actually foreclosed on a house with my mom and dad. It had a mall there, and my dad was against me going there and doing this deal, and we rented from him, and it was my first store. It was called the Bullpen. Actually, it's one of my prized possessions. My sister Ellie has a flyer that she gives me about 3 years ago, and it says the Bullpen on it, 1988, Dana Coulter, Dave Jordan, and it's one of the treasures. I got it matted at my house, and it's the first flyer, and we'll post it on here one day. I'll show people so they can actually see the flyer that led to my first shop, and we drew the horns on it for the Bullpen with the baseball, and it's like one of my favorite pieces. But 1988 is when I first got started in the Bullpen.
So think about that memory, okay? Like your favorite memory from when it launched, and something that happened that was funny in that original early days of your.
My favorite memory of when that launched was my girlfriend, then now my wife, came into that store with my little sister May and gave me her phone number, and I just never called her. And my dad was in love with her, but this was at my card store, and I was so into my cards that I didn't really know girls, or I had an IROC Z. I had the brand new IROC Z. I was just like, and it was like, that's my best memory of my card shop, is my wife walking in the store and giving me her number at my baseball card store. So it was pretty cool. But my favorite memory of there was one day, it's in my book. One day a hobo came in to my other shop and literally told me the life of a hobo, and I just really respected life more after that. And it was just a fun deal to sit down and talk to this guy for a half a day. I bought him a hamburger, you know?
I've seen you play Keno and things like that you like to do. And the first thing you do when you win is you think of people as your lucky charm and you give them $100 and you say, well, don't go anywhere because I'm probably going to win again. And you love that atmosphere of just giving people stuff. You're such a giver, Dave. You've always been that way.
But I believe in karma. I believe that if you got to give to receive. And I always believe that. And my mom and dad were givers. My mom and dad worked their tail off. And the one thing cool about the sports and about I always had good Christmases. When I was a little kid, I was considered one of the 5 little kids because there was 3 years between me and my brother, which was Willie's dad, 3 years between us. And, I was one of the little guys, but at Christmas time, on birthdays, I always got everything. My mom and dad were so giving, and that's why I try to give too. I always try to give, and me, Don. When I win at something or when I do at something, I achieve. Like at my card shop, my last one we called it Hawks Hobby Heaven. Every kid that came in the store, accompanied by an adult, got a free pack of cards, and we give away thousands of packs a month. I mean, every kid got a free pack because when I was a little kid, there was 10 of us going to the hobby shop, and I didn't get that, and I didn't. They just couldn't afford to buy us each something because it was so many kids. But that was one of the things I did that for. That was why we accompanied all the kids and gave them a free pack.
So with all the good and the giving, giving, what's your regret though? You must have a regret, something you maybe didn't do or something you should have done. You got any regrets from that time that you really got going?
No, the regrets I have there are going to come to Collectorect because I plan on giving away a lot with Collectorect. I plan on having a lot of fun with it. And but the regrets, I don't. With my Joyce calls my sports memorabilia, my toys, my happy place. I mean, I have a toy room. I have when people go on Zoom and they see my office, they don't see the wall. That wall don't have one sports card on it. That wall's got toys, and the wall in my main office is just full of toys. I mean, it's a toy. Like here's my warehouse office, and I'm just going to tip this camera for a minute to show you toys. I mean, I'm a toy collector too. There's Tonka trucks up there. Everything up there is vintage. There's a Wayne Gretzky doll, Mario Lemieux. I mean, all kinds of stuff from everything you can think of. There's a ventriloquist doll over there of W.C. Fields. There's it's just so many different things. But I can tell you this, it's always been my happy place. Joyce calls it my happy place. Whenever I get down, I come and sit in my happy place. I got 3 man caves. I mean, most people don't have one. I have 3. And I just come to them and, it makes me think, it makes me have fun. This is my dream, what we're about to do.
So when did you really get to that point where the accumulation of all of these things really went into full force? Like, when did that happen?
Well, I don't know. That's an act of God in my way, because the way it worked out was, in 1990, I started buying stuff and basically my motto was, I'm going to keep the shoebox and sell everything in the store and, keep my best stuff just to keep it for a rainy day. And it turned into people finding out they could bring stuff to me. And every other day I'm buying a pickup truck or, a pickup of G.I. Joe's or a pickup of, and once they find out that you're buying stuff and nobody else is buying stuff. And at the time back then, Don, I was making very good money with my card store and as a network marketer. I was making, $20,000-$30,000 a month as a networker. And I have a wife that don't spend money. I mean, she lets me do what I want. And for some reason, all that money, Don, went into collectibles. And it went into collectibles every month, every hour. I couldn't let a $5 bill burn a hole in my pocket. It was literally spent, and that's just something I can't explain. That God just picked me to own all these beautiful collectibles that have turned into an empire.
When did you start in your mind Collectorect? When did you think Collectorect? When did it sort of say, I want to do this?
That was back in 98. I started a company back in 98. I was going to go out and do a company, and I actually have the business card of it right here. It's called 21st Century Collectibles. And this was a company that dealt in sports memorabilia. And I actually started it with a network marketing. I love the leverage of network marketing. You can work 90 hours an hour with network marketing. And I was working 90 hours a week with my internet business and my card shops. So when I started this, it was off to the races, had about 1,000 people spending $25 a month, a little card club. And then my one partner I brought in wanted Beanie Babies. And when we brought them in, I couldn't break the numbers. I couldn't get them cheap enough to pay out what we were paying out. And if I would have stayed with cards, I probably wouldn't even be on this Zoom. And you'd probably be in my other company. It'd be $1 billion company 10 times over. but it didn't happen that way. So I said to myself back then, I'm going to do this again someday, but I'm going to wait and do it till it's the right time. I believe the last 9 years of what I've done in my other company and doing hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, I believe it set me up for this moment.
Yeah, you talked about some of those years when things were really flowing and you were just taking those dollars like you did back in the 80s and 90s and turned it right back into big collections, not $1,000 collections, hundreds of thousands of dollar collections. And I've seen some of that, Dave. So amazing. So, when you think about this next 24 months, once we launch, what do you see? What do you see for Collect Direct?
I'm hoping we can, I'm seeing it being crazy. I'm seeing it being like something everybody's got to have. It's like I'm seeing it being like, I mean, how could I put it? I mean, I can put it this way. I see it being like I see it being like somebody discovered Bigfoot. I see it being like, hey man, that's real. That's real. I got to see that, I got to be a part of that. I believe it's going to be something like that. I believe it's going to be something where it could be too big. It could be, but here's the beauty of it. The last company we did, 375 to 400 million in total sales. And all I know is my phone's ringing here. All I know is with this company, we've done the math and I've looked at all my product. And over that period of time, we sold about 1,200,000 items in that last company over 8.5 years. Well, we figured if we do that every year for the next 10 years, I'd still have product. So we have the product to do this. I mean, we have semis and warehouses. And, I figured our calculation was we have over 500 million unharvested trading cards that are gradable, meaning they're worth something when they go in that case. They're worth something before they go in that case. So all I know is my projections for the first 24 months. I am, like you just said when we first got on this, I like watching people win. I like handing people money. And there's nothing better to me than handing a little old lady $100 when God bless me with a jackpot. There's nothing better than, even when we were in Vegas, the Rhoda Bazant sitting right next to me. There's nothing better than to watch a smile on somebody's face in amazement, to watch me win. I didn't even know how many jackpots because my mind said to myself, I'm going to win that jackpot. And with Collect Direct, the next 24 months, it's already won. The question is, I don't want it to get too big too fast. The question is, this is such a great opportunity and idea that what I've done, Don, is I've literally went out there over the last year and a half and I've bought all my competition out. Anybody that could come even close to wanting to do what I'm about to do, they're going to have a tough time doing it because I've already got 10 years in advance in product.
So what's the end game, Dave? What's the end game? Let's talk about that. People ask that all the time. Is this just about getting rid of your stuff, or what do you see this as the end game? Let's use that as our final question.
Well, yeah. So the end game of this is when I walked out of school that day, I told you when my gym teacher called me a loser. I literally looked at my mom and I was 16. I didn't even know what a millionaire was then. I didn't even know what a billionaire was then. And I just told my mom, I said, Mom, before I'm 50, I'm going to be a millionaire. And before I'm 60, I'm going to be a billionaire. And this guy can call me a loser all he wants. He'll remember me. He'll know me. That guy's actually a good friend of mine now. I go to the senior center and joke around with them guys. And they just think that, every time I see him, he says, only you, Dave, only you. That's exactly what he says to me. So my whole thing with my mom's still alive. She's 92. And I just want to keep my promise to my mom. And when people say, this is Dave getting rid of his garbage. No, the garbage was gone a long time ago. That wasn't my card shops. And, this is all the gold. This is all the stuff that we're harvesting. It's like owning a gold stream of just going through and harvesting these incredible cards. And, we're grading up to 2,500 cards a week right now. I've hired 2 more employees in the last week that are going to grade, and they've already trained. They've already been fabulous. That's going to put us at 4 graders by the end of this month. And with 4 graders, we're going to get up to 10,000 cards a week, I'm hoping. And once that happens, see, Don, that's only 5% of the game. I mean, this is all about Barbie dolls and Beanie Babies and stamps and coins and matchbooks and beer cans and bringing the whole, like you just said, the whole past to the present, bringing something from the 60s back to 2023, bringing something from the 50s back to 2023. And somebody's saying, wow, I had that when I was 8 years old and now they could have it again, and that's what I've accumulated over the last 40 years. And, the people can look at it like this, it's like you said in an earlier interview you did, this is not something you need. This is something you want. You know, nobody that's going to come in this company is going to come in this company because they need it. They're going to come in this company because they want it, you know? And that's the difference between this and 800 other network marketing product companies. That's the difference between this and 800 other products that are competing for each other, that are competing for each other's people, that are, you know, I just believe that. And I believe that this one will speak for itself. This one won't have to go out there and hurt anybody. This one will just be the one that says, you know what, I'm buying a product over here, but man, I love buying a Wayne Gretzky card every month. You know what, I'm buying a product over here, but man, I like knowing I could buy an Evil Knievel in this company that I had when I was 8 years old. You know, I'm over here buying this product over here to put in my body and take a nice vitamin. But man, I love buying a 1909 SVDB and knowing that coin will, you know, go in my safe, and it's the rarest, one of the rarest pennies ever made with Abraham Lincoln on it. You know what? I'm over here buying my product. I can come over here and buy Rocky Balboa, or I can come over here and buy a game jersey card of Jerry Rice, or a game jersey card of Michael Jordan, or a Derek Jeter rookie, or a Wayne Gretzky rookie. And that, I believe, is going to get out, Don. And when people really see and know, like I told you, the Bigfoot theory. Oh, it's Bigfoot. It ain't real. Wait till people see. Wait till people see that it's real. Wait till people see what it happens. And wait till people see, like, what's behind me. I'm sitting right now in a deal that's just got millions and millions of treasures that are unharvested. This is called the harvest room. That's what this room is. Every single thing in here, these right here, these are phone cards. Look at them all. I mean, these are just sitting here. They're just here by random phone cards, unscratched. And there's not five, there's thousands. You know, not 10. I can't even hold them all. Here. There's stacks. Look, here, there's more. These are all, and there's boxes and boxes. And you know what? I didn't even know I had them. I mean, and you look at these and you're saying to yourself, okay, well, you know what? Okay, he's got a Cal Ripken set. No. I got 1,000 Cal Ripken sets. And look at what it says on there. Limited to 50,000. I got 1,000 of them. Unopened, sealed. They're brand new. Look at that. They're nice. They're new. When you crack it open, all the cards are nice. And my guys are saying, here we go. Here's Whataburger. This is in Texas, Whataburger. Here's a sealed set. It ain't just one pack. When you go in and buy a hamburger back then in 93, you could buy a hamburger, you could buy a pack of Nolan Ryan. And this is all 12 of them in a set. But guess what, Don? I got 5,000 sets of all of them. So this is Whataburger, sealed, mint, never been opened, never touched by human hand. They're mint. Here's Derek Jeter. I mean, hundreds of these sets. It's a set. It's every card, but then look who's on top, Derek Jeter, before he ever wore a Major League Baseball uniform. So my whole thing is, it's Barbies, it's coins, it's stamps, it's beer cans, it's baseball bats, it's tennis rackets, it's autographs, it's jerseys, it's fully, it's everything, collectibles.
Yeah.
Dolls. And you know what I love most about what you're saying is you need to interview Bruce Matheson, because I was talking to him the other day, and he's holding up these bears, and he's holding up all these little things in his house. And he said, you know, Dave, I didn't even know that I had any collectibles until I really started looking around my house. And he goes, everybody's got something at their house. Everybody's got something hanging up. Everybody's got something in their china cabinet. Everybody's got some kind of heirloom. And here's the beauty of what we got, Don. What if you could actually go get that heirloom that you could have had, that your uncle had back in the 60s, that your dad had, and it's not there no more, and you could actually buy it here? Or you could actually get something here that back that your father had, or back that your mother had. That's where we're going with this. And it's not, you know, 100 of this, when they're gone, they're gone. This is millions of different items. This is millions of different things. So all I know is this, Don, 24 months from now, you asked what I see. In 24 months, I can't even tell you in 24 months what I see, because in 8 years, I saw what we did in 8 years in my last company. And I see this in the first 12 months doing what we did there in 8 years.
Dave, I'm going to leave you with this thought. You put three people on the Hall of Fame at an event, $1 million a year earners, and two of them are here with us. But I got to tell you, the money that you're offering to pay out on these treasures is mind-boggling. I've talked to people over and over again. They're probing me with their excitement, and they're getting me excited just as you do. And together we're going to win, everybody. So listen, this is a man you're seeing right here who has your back. He's got the passion in this room, in 3 warehouses right now, containers all around his building being acquired, containers in different cities right now that he's got to get here that he's bought and then mine them. That's for you, each and every one of you. Folks, thanks for joining us. Dave, you're a man on a mission. I can see it. And I look forward to doing this again with you in the coming weeks as we get closer to launch date, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care.